Spoilers for the following. You are a high schooler sitting on a school bench, outside eating lunch. You are alone, with nobody sitting next to or nearby you. You have little to no friends, and you have never been in a romantic relationship. Whether or not you're interested in being a part of one does not matter for this hypothetical. You are just sitting alone when another high schooler approaches you, who, for simplicity's sake, I will be referring to as What's-His-Name. You may have seen and heard of What's-His-Name before. You may have not. Whatever the case, What's-His-Name is the sex and gender you are attracted to, and they have just asked you out on a date. If you say yes, the date is scheduled. If you say no, the date is still scheduled because What's-His-Name's persistence managed to change your mind, whether out of amusement or reluctance. Either way, the date is scheduled, and it ends up being one of the most enchanting nights of your life. How so is completely up to you. It can be a slow, soothing trip through the tunnel of love, or a crazy, chaotic frenzy of paintball. You might share your first kiss under a tree by the public park, or could have reveled in victory over a game of tennis. Whatever you consider a perfect date, the events of the night suit it to a T. You and What's-His-Name fall head over heels for each other. So the two of you go out on more dates, and think nothing but of each other for the majority of the school year. For you, there is no other person in the world like What's-His-Name, but something is off. You suspect that they're hiding something from you, and you inquire them about it one night. They fidget, stammer, stutter, twiddle their fingers, until finally they take a deep breath, look you in the eyes, and say they want to take you out to prom. You couldn't be any happier. So prom finally comes. You just enter the school and frantically search for the love of your life. You twist and turn your head in the crowded cafeteria until finally, standing under a shimmering light of orange, pink, and purple, is What's-His-Name, dressed in whatever outfit you deem suitable for the perfect dance. You start running towards them, eager to wrap your arm around them, only for the school bully to beat you to it. The bully will be referred to as Shipdit. "I gotta say, What's-His-Name," Shipdit says, "I didn't think you'd have it in ya, but oh well. A deal is a deal." Shipdit reaches into his pocket and pulls out a devilish $100 bill. What's-His-Name looks at you in shame as they're handed the money. "What deal?" you ask, and Shipdit looks at you with a sinister smile. "Oh, not much," he says. "We just bet $100 on who's going to win the hand of the school's ugliest, whatever your sex and gender is. And this bozo here has clearly won." You stare at What's-His-Name in horror and ask if this is true. "No," What's-His-Name says. "Well, yes, it started out that way, but it's different now." Really immerse yourself into this hypothetical story and ask yourself, how would you feel in that exact moment? You probably would be very hurt, wouldn't you? But oh, don't you realize What's-His-Name really does love you? Congratulations, you have just been a participant of one of fiction's most detested tropes, the dreaded liar revealed. Even if you haven't heard of the term liar revealed, you likely know what it is. It's a trope in storytelling where the protagonist keeps a secret from all of the other characters, only for that secret to get exposed. The trope itself can broadly apply to just that. However, one of the major reasons why this trope is so hated is because it is usually built up towards and followed by a predictable structure. Picture it. At the beginning of the story, the protagonist lies to the other characters just to gain something or cover their hide. But slowly throughout the story, they realize that lying is bad, and they try to tell the others the truth, but they just can't. Then in the third act, on the very specific special day or event where everything is supposed to go smoothly, the truth bomb is revealed, likely dropped by the bad guy. Everyone is hurt, and they shun the protagonist for about 10 to 20 minutes. Then the protagonist redeems themselves by giving out a heartfelt speech or shooting the bad guy, something incredible. Everyone forgives, kiss and make up, neat little bow tied, happy ending, audience clap. This particular structure is most often seen in popular kids' films, which may be part of the reason why this cliché trope is so detested, it being one of the first overdone tropes everyone is exposed to. There's no doubt a lot of people hate the liar revealed, including yours truly, but is the liar revealed objectively a bad trope? No. The liar revealed is simply a trope, and like any trope, it can be done right, and done right it has been. Sadly, there are stories that get unfairly detested due to the trope's mere existence. Take the Pixar film A Bug's Life, for example. Not a maligned movie, but its lie-revealed trope is often the main citation to why it is a weak film, despite the fact that the trope's usage is perfectly functional. It makes complete sense for the protagonist Flick to lie to the colony that their savior bugs were merely circus performers. He didn't know about it himself until it was too late. He was already insecure over how judgmental the colony is towards him, and he still had faith in their plan to scare away the evil grasshoppers working regardless. Likewise, it makes complete sense for the colony to react to the revealed truth so harshly. Flick was the one that got them into the extra trouble with the grasshoppers in the first place, and now their supposed savior ends up having been putting on a show the whole time? Of course things played out the way they did. Despite that, A Bug's Life is often regarded as the weakest Golden Age Pixar film, with DreamWorks' Ants being the better movie, despite the fact that A Bug's Life has no major plot holes while Ants has the unfortunate case of inconsistent water physics. So it probably would be in everyone's best interest if aspiring writers, such as yourself, don't use the lie-revealed trope at all. But if for some godforsaken reason you do want to use the trope, then here's some advice. First, write out your will. Then, make sure the events of the lie revealed at the very least make sense. There are lie-revealed scenes that are justly detested due to having all of the anger-inducing cliché structures without even earning them. One of the worst cases of this is the third season of Stranger Things. Mike and Eleven are deeply in love, which Eleven's adoptive father, Hopper, doesn't approve of. Hopper, who is wildly out of character compared to prior seasons, takes Mike out back and tells him to break off the relationship, threatening him harm if he goes near Eleven ever again. The next day, Mike tells Eleven he's visiting a sick relative and can't see her. Eleven suspects deceit. Despite this, Mike still wants to make it up to Eleven by going to the mall to get her a nice gift. But Eleven just so happens to be shopping at the mall with Max, and Mike gets caught. Now here's what's interesting about this scene. Mike immediately tells her that Hopper forced him to lie to her, loud and clearly. Eleven knows that Hopper is very disapproving of their relationship, and prior seasons established that, though very socially awkward, Eleven is indeed not an airhead. And yet despite all of that, Eleven still dumps Mike. Stranger Things Season 3 is rubbish, and making their characters uncharacteristically idiotic just to execute a cliché trope is one reason why. So don't do that, future writers. What you should do is find a purpose for this lie reveal. Figure out a meaningful reason why such a trope is absolutely necessary for your story. Hopefully that's what you were already doing, and not just throwing in common tropes to generate artificial third act drama. If you are doing that, do better. There are good stories that not only function properly with the lie revealed, but could not work without it. Take Disney's Aladdin, for example. Aladdin is one of the best films to utilize this trope, and that's because it's partially what the film is about. The semi-cautionary tale about lying, and the consequences of using friends to help paint a false image. Without the lie revealed, the film would feel morally broken. Well, more morally broken than it already is. In fact, there is a film that doesn't do the lie revealed that perhaps should have done it. Perhaps. Just a bit. DreamWorks' El Dorado follows Tulio and Miguel as they go along with the natives' assumption that they're gods. But after a while, one of the chieftains, the nice chieftain, catches on to what they've been doing. This is hinted at when he nonchalantly tells Miguel that we're all human. And that's all he does. He holds no grudge to their deceit, and even continues to obey Miguel's wishes, which some may find a bit odd. It is true that Tulio and Miguel have rid of El Dorado much of its problems by banishing the evil chieftain, but they still ask the nice chieftain to build a big boat so they can leave his city with a ton of its gold. And he's completely fine with that? No slap to the hand? Not even a flick to the forehead? El Dorado's lack of a lie revealed is strange, but the subversion of the tiresome trope is welcome regardless. Perhaps that's what all the writers of today should do. Maybe not subvert the trope completely, but to give it the good old deconstruction. Make sure the trope's usage makes sense, and then delve deep into why it happened. Why did the protagonist feel compelled to lie? Why did they struggle so hard to tell the truth? Why is the victim so hurt by it? Writers could even switch the structure up a bit. Perhaps have the liar confess earlier into the story, or have the lie revealed days after the perfect nothing must go wrong event. Or have the lied to person not forgive the liar. You're probably not so eager to forgive what's-his-name after what they did to you, so write a story about that to show just how hurtful lies can truly be. Maybe then there will be a liar revealed scene that will actually be cherished. Because here's something to think about. What specifically makes a liar revealed moment feel so dreadful? Is it just the predictability of the events that take place? Is it the victim overreacting to being lied to? Or is it the liar being forgiven too easily? Thank you for sticking around to the end. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video to every specimen you know. I'd appreciate it. And check out the bombastic science comic strips that I post on various sites every day, 6 days a week. If you wish to support me, you can become a Patreon member of mine and see the comics 2 weeks early, or you can witness them 1 week early on Webtoon. Links in the description. Now that's enough from me for today. Go write your own stories, and for pity's sake, make sure they're well written.